I told you there are places on Earth so dangerous, mysterious, or sacred that stepping foot there could get you arrested? Or worse. These aren't just spots surrounded by barbed wire and warning signs. These are the kinds of places where governments, religious groups, or nature itself has drawn a hard line in the sand and said no humans allowed. From secret military zones to ancient tombs cursed by time, let's dive into forbidden places on Earth you'll never be allowed to visit. You won't just be banned from landing here, you're not even allowed to fly over it. Located in the remote waters of the Indian Ocean, Diego Garcia is one of the most secretive and strategic military bases on Earth. It's jointly operated by the United States and the United Kingdom, and it plays a major role in global surveillance, intelligence gathering, and military logistics. But its dark history goes even deeper. In the 1960s and 70s, the island's native Chagosian people were forcibly removed from their homeland to make way for the base, and many were never allowed to return. Since then, Diego Garcia has been shrouded in secrecy. The airspace above it is completely restricted, the waters around it are patrolled, and any unauthorized access by sea or air is considered a serious breach of international security. There's an island in Hawaii you're probably not allowed to step foot on, even if you're American. Niihau, often called the Forbidden Island, has remained isolated from the outside world for more than 150 years. Privately owned by the Robinson family since 1864, the island is a living time capsule. With no paved roads, no internet, no shops, and no modern infrastructure, it preserves a version of Hawaiian life that barely exists anywhere else. Only native Hawaiians who live there, invited guests, and a few government officials are allowed entry. Even the US military, which briefly used the island for training during World War II, has long since backed off. Attempts to open the island to tourism have repeatedly failed, and to this day it remains a place that even most Hawaiians will never see. This museum had to rethink everything after the most daring jewel heist in modern history. Housed inside the Royal Palace of Dresden, Germany, the Green Vault was once considered the most secure museum in Europe. It held priceless treasures including 18th century royal jewels, diamond-encrusted swords, and gold figurines. But in 2019, the impossible happened. Thieves broke in, disabled part of the security system, and stole over $120 million worth of jewels in a matter of minutes, most of which have never been recovered. Since that day, access to the Green Vault has changed dramatically. Security has been tightened to an almost militarized level, and many of the most valuable artifacts are now either off display or stored in areas completely closed to the public. What was once a showcase of opulence is now one of the most heavily guarded and restricted cultural sites in Europe. This royal tomb holds ancient secrets, but no one is allowed to disturb them. King Munmu, the first emperor to unify the Korean peninsula, requested to be buried at sea when he died in 681 AD. His tomb is believed to lie beneath a rocky islet just off the coast of South Korea. According to legend, his spirit would transform into a dragon and protect the country from invaders. The tomb is sacred, and for over 1,000 years, no one has been allowed to excavate or explore it. Modern technology could uncover what's beneath, but cultural respect and religious tradition keep the site untouched. It's not protected by fences or armed guards, but by something even stronger: an unspoken pact not to disturb the emperor's eternal vigil. Some believe it's the most controversial burial site in the world. In the heart of Srinagar, India, the Rosabal Shrine is an unassuming stone structure that's become the center of a global mystery. Some researchers claim the tomb inside belongs to Jesus Christ, suggesting he survived the crucifixion and lived out the rest of his life in Kashmir. It's a theory that challenges everything we think we know, and it's one that many people, both religious and political, want buried. The Indian government has shut down access to the tomb, and the surrounding area is closely monitored. Even locals are discouraged from discussing its true identity. Whether it holds the remains of Christ or not, Rosabal remains one of the most politically and spiritually sensitive places on Earth. Even the people who live nearby rarely visit this haunted island. Rapa, or Little Rapa, is is a rugged volcanic island in French Polynesia, far removed from the world's usual travel routes. It's surrounded by sharp cliffs and unpredictable seas, making access extremely difficult. The island is covered in ancient stone fortresses and ruins, remnants of a once powerful society that vanished mysteriously. Local oral traditions tell of spirits that protected the land and punish outsiders who attempt to disturb it. While technically not illegal to visit, the island is spiritually taboo. Locals believe anyone who tries to explore the ruins without permission may suffer from illness, storms, or even vanish without explanation. It's less of a legal ban and more of a supernatural warning that no one really wants to test. Underneath a sleepy town in Normandy sits one of France's most closely guarded secrets. At first glance, Surtainville looks like any quiet French coastal village, but beneath its surface lies a classified Cold War-era bunker that reportedly houses France's nuclear communication and emergency protocols. The Surtainville Vault is rarely mentioned in public records, and its exact coordinates are unknown to most. Locals have reported heavy military traffic, strange antenna arrays, and secured compounds that are never explained. The government refuses to comment on its purpose. While there are no obvious barriers or signs, attempting to get close results in immediate confrontation with armed guards. It's a ghost facility, one whose presence is undeniable, but whose function remains completely hidden from public knowledge. Some parts of the desert are more than just sand, and this one is completely sealed off. Just outside the city of Ha'il in northern Saudi Arabia lies a vast stretch of desert that's officially restricted by the military. The area contains thousands of ancient rock carvings, some dating back over 10,000 years, as well as towering megaliths that hint at forgotten civilizations. But despite its cultural significance, the region is completely off limits to the public. Scholars believe the government may be hiding archaeological sites or possibly even modern facilities beneath the sands. Locals have shared stories of drones being shot down, cars being stopped at unmarked checkpoints, and mysterious lights appearing on the horizon. Whatever's out there, it's being kept under tight control. This is where America buried its radioactive shame, and it's leaking. During the Cold War, the US conducted 67 nuclear tests in the Marshall Islands, devastating both the land and the people. To contain the waste, the US military built the Runit Dome, a massive concrete cap over a crater left by a nuclear blast on Runit Island. Beneath the dome are tons of radioactive soil, debris, and weapon remnants. But here's the terrifying part. The dome is cracking. Rising sea levels and erosion have weakened the structure, and scientists now warn it could leak plutonium into the Pacific. The island is completely off limits, not just because of government policy, but because stepping foot on it could mean long-term radiation poisoning. It is a ticking time bomb sealed in concrete. Speaking of radiation poisoning, you can visit Chernobyl, but there's one part that's off limits, probably forever. While the Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine has been opened to guided tours and researchers, Reactor 4, the exact site of the 1986 explosion, remains deeply restricted. The damaged core was initially encased in concrete, but over time it began to crack and leak radiation. In 2016, a new steel sarcophagus called the New Safe Confinement was slid over it, sealing off the most radioactive materials. Even scientists aren't allowed to enter without full hazmat suits, respirators, and special permissions. Radiation inside could still kill a person within minutes. For now, and possibly for centuries, Reactor 4 will remain sealed, quiet, and glowing with the consequences of mankind's biggest nuclear mistake. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I will see you again soon. Bye!